What is up, you guys? This is For the Femmes podcast. I'm your host, Faithlynn, and we're back with another fun episode. This is the first Masc we've had on For the Femmes podcast. Kind of crazy, I know, right? But it's like strictly for femmes. I'm here today with Kelly Balch. She made a docuseries episode about femmes, and I was like, this is really important to share her experience and her love for femmes, and so I'm so excited for you guys to hear this episode. Thank you so much for coming on, Kelly.
I love that. Thank you for having me. I must admit, I was like, when I got your email, I was very shocked of like, why am I, just to let you know, like I identify as Masc.
Right.
So yeah, I didn't realize this was your first Masc. That's really, thank you. I am so honored. Holy crap.
Yeah, no, I
Wow.
mean, I love what you're doing and the fact that you highlighted femmes in your docuseries episode. I think that's like super cool. Obviously, as we like spoke, briefly before we started the episode, just how important it is for femmes to have representation, and why I continue to do this podcast. So yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself and your coming out story.
Well, I came out in, I think it was like after college when I had my first lesbian experience. And back then, I identified just like, because I was a student athlete and I had long hair. So I would be like probably the chapstick lesbian. And I also was dating a chapstick lesbian. And
That's
then
a very like athlete dynamic. I feel like two athletes like always end up dating somehow.
Exactly. Because like we were both in our I think that was the last time that I actually felt my most feminine self, was even still doing, athletics. I was in my Masc with being like the athlete, but also very femme. And so that type of, I think, was just a mirror of who I was attracting.
Right.
Which is the most interesting thing that I feel, even just in our queer community, of just like where we start out and then where the pendulum is swung, and then which place do we fall up on. And so after, I would say, like my third or fourth experience with another like lesbian, especially a chapstick lesbian, I like chopped off my hair and I was like, I'm gonna be this, like, I feel I already embody more masculinity, so I wanted to just show that in a type of like presentation, which I didn't know.
And that's kind of,
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, that's why I always say, like, what is your coming out journey when I have guests on? Because it really is a journey. I remember when I first came out, I was like, oh, do I have to like cut my hair? Like, how do I let girls know that I like girls?
Right.
And it really is a journey. There are so many ups and downs. And it's funny, I always feel like my most true feminine self when I'm in a relationship. And I think it's because I don't have to like prove to the world that I'm gay, or like prove to like other girls if I'm dating or something, or show that I'm gay. I mean, I've been out for 10 years, but that's besides the point.
I was wondering this too when I was doing the actual episode, of how fascinating it was that these femme lesbians were immediately thinking they needed to actually cut their hair or wear the flannel or dress into this Masc self, which I think it's quite beautiful, because I think no matter what happens to us as we start questioning our gender roles and identity, and how the masculine and the feminine shows up and wants to manifest itself on an external level. So it's like, how was that for you, in a sense of just, you're like, I know not to cut my hair, or how did you express your masculine self?
Yeah, I think it was more of an energy thing for me. I have a pretty dominant personality. So that was easy. Like when I was dating and stuff, it was easy for me to just like go up to someone and talk to them. I didn't care. Like I was always the kind of person where I was like, oh, whatever. Like if I want something, I will get it. So I feel like that was just more of that, like in my masculine energy. That's how it translated. So have you only been in relationships with femmes because you love them so much, or have you, well, besides the chapstick experience in college?
No, that oddly enough, when I first started the actual docu-series, I did the first episode with Masc versus Masc, and it was
Yes, I saw
because
that.
yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. But I started off because I was like playing with that type of my own like understanding of masculine, feminine, my gender fluidity in that sense, or sexual fluidity, and how, because basically when I came out Masc, I didn't realize that it was going to have these type of like pre-stereotypical roles of being the protector, the provider, like these type of
Mm,
things, even sexually as well, of how it would show up of being the giver. And so of like just giving and not
hmm
receiving.
hmm
And so I was just
hmm
like, do I need to date a mask in order to receive? In order, what does that
Yeah.
actually feel like? When you said that you went up to somebody and you're like, I'm going to want to have them, that never was a type of frequency that I would operate at. I would always
hmm
be like, oh, they kind of come to me, or be shy
I
in
feel
that
like that's
sense.
such a mask thing, though.
It
I
is.
mean, it
It very
obviously
much is.
depends, but like that's
Right.
like even my girlfriend, she's like, I never really like would like go up to anyone or anything. I mean, she pursued me oddly enough, but like she normally was
Oh,
like, no,
beautiful.
like the shy mask, like
Yep.
doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like this type of like, it's not even the toxic masculinity that shows up. It's really just the type of like, I'm gonna sit and hold space for these women, or hold space for them. And so that's where we sit in those like spaces of just like, but it's almost like, anyways, to even go,
Mhm.
to follow back on answering your question, like I started playing with the idea of dating Masc and being Masc on Masc, and what that felt like. Because I dated a non-binary, mostly Masc presenting, person, and that
Mhm.
was a very beautiful relationship. And then,
Mhm.
but it was just funny of how the way that I looked, I realized that I was just attracting femmes, and so that
Mm,
was why I was like, okay, then I'll just like fall into that type of stereotype of like this
mhm. And it's
heteronormative relationship.
different for you now, you're saying,
I mean,
or it
it's
doesn't
still quite
matter.
the same. It
Okay.
kind of, now it's just, yeah, no. I love that you asked that, because it's funny, because I still love femmes. Like I love my
Yeah.
femmes for sure, but it's coming with the type of like caution of saying like, I am a femme too. I
Mm,
am sensitive. Like I like to be in my feminine. I'm a switch sexually. Like all these things that it just wouldn't naturally be preconceived before, because I have my mask exterior kind of thing, you know?
right. I like what you said, or what you pointed out about the dynamic in, being with a mask as well, and how it was really just like beautiful and balanced because in all of my previous relationships, I feel like it was very heteronormative. Like my more mask partner was like the guy in a sense, people would say in the
Hmm.
relationship. But now my relationship is like very balanced. My partner is like a little bit more masculine than me, but overall, like we do the same tasks. We do the same things for each other. And it's my first relationship that way. And I didn't know how badly I needed that, honestly. It's
Exactly. Wait, that's so
right.
beautiful.
No, and
It almost says something
I
about
love that.
yourself, though. Oh, sorry. Sorry, so
No, I
sorry.
was just gonna say I love that like you maybe went a little bit out of your comfort zone and tried something different, and look at how special it sounds that that relationship at that time with that person like left such an imprint on you.
Truly, yes. Because again, it was like, it taught me a lot of things of being able to, for instance, when I travel, I'm just always so sovereign and independent that I would carry my own stuff. And then when I
Mm,
met this person, they're like, let me carry it. And I'm like, what
yeah.
does that even feel like? I didn't even know
That
what that felt like.
yeah.
And it's
It's
beautiful
crazy.
that, yeah, and it's beautiful that even when I'm with femmes and I hang out with them, they naturally, that's just their natural type of energy. And that's what I was just like gaining the curiosity of like, oh my God, can I switch into that role? I can never
Mhm.
be a femme, but I'm just like, it's beautiful to be able to understand the act of receiving, because that's what I
Mhm.
think. Femmes really beautifully do.
Mm-hmm.
Feminine energy specifically.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's totally natural and almost like a law of life in a sense. Like the feminine
Yeah.
receives and is soft, and the masculine's the giver and protector. One thing I've heard just like through the grapevine over the years, and I feel like this is the first time we're really having conversations about masks presenting lesbians and masc on masc relationships because they have not had that like been able to really receive that. I've heard of masks when they're not in relationships or whatever sleeping with men because that's how they can receive. Obviously this doesn't go for everyone, but I've heard of a lot of
Yeah.
masc presenting lesbians doing that. And it's so interesting to me. I'm like, why not just be with like a femme top or a true switch? But I've heard this like
Are they
many,
out
many,
there?
many times. Are they what?
Is a femme top that would wear a strap on out there? Like I've
For
never actually
sure.
witnessed
For
that.
sure.
Oh, where are they? I love this topic because I went on through my own experience of like actually I was just having this really legit conversation with one of my other mask friends where we fear our dominance. We
Mm,
fear our dominance in a sense, and specifically in the bedroom of like this is so fascinating. But I know from my own experience, and then speaking to some other masks, is like when we are with a femme, to us they're so fragile, especially when we love them. They're so fragile, they're so beautiful that we're almost afraid to be our most dominant selves with them, or
mm,
to show this type of dominance that we can almost turn into a very dominant male,
mm.
because
What
that's
does that look
exactly who
like?
we fear we're being. Um, Almost like in the sense of just like really getting too wild, I guess, and too dominant and too like intense, I'm
Mm,
imagining, and almost could be to the point of aggression.
mm,
But and I remember like thinking like if I'm with a guy, I wouldn't care to actually be so dominant because I really don't care to be with a guy. So I
mm,
can like be uninhibited in myself of just being fully dominant in the bedroom because a man can take it.
mhm,
Whereas to me, I'm already putting this type of notion on this beautiful feminine person that I'm like, I want to make sure that they are treated the best and afraid to show that type of wild beast inside me, I guess.
mm.
I
I
wonder if
think
that's a real thing with other masks, but I know
it could
a few
be.
people that have
It
had
totally
conversations.
could be.
Yeah.
And I think too is interesting to me because I'm like, well, why does that like dominant masculine energy translate to more of an aggressive behavior or something like that? Because I feel like masculine energy can mean so many different things. Like I feel like masculine energy can also be this very gentle type of energy, but like still that protective, safe, providing caregiver in a sense. Like I feel like masculine energy and feminine energy can both be nurturing in different ways.
Oh, agreed, agreed. I think it's to the other spectrum of the masculine energy that can be very primal,
Mm-hmm.
very, very, very primal. And so it's almost like I can only simulate, like compare it to gay sex. I love
No,
that heated
totally.
rivalry just
Yeah.
came up,
Yeah.
and like seeing how
Heated
men
rivalry.
have sex. Yeah, yeah. And seeing how men have sex with each other is like very similar to how like I would also have sex with my non-binary partner
Mm-hmm.
or mass
Mm-hmm.
partner.
Yeah.
And that's a
That,
version of self that lives, right? So
yeah.
that's a primal type of sex.
Yeah. I
I
need
love
to.
this conversation so much. My coming out, yeah, I don't think I actually really dated a hyper femme.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've always dated women that were still on this type of like masculine kind of
Mhm.
feel to them.
Mhm. Mhm.
No,
I mean, I
that's
feel
not
like
true. I
that's like
dated them. Never
relatable
mind.
to you, though. I feel like, you can understand maybe somebody who's like maybe leaning a little bit more masculine because that's how you are. And I think that that's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially when you were an athlete too. Like, I mean, like we were
yeah.
saying, that happens all
I
the
needed,
time.
yeah, exactly. It's really beautiful to see in our queer community where, like, who's dating who and how they are opposing one another because those are missing energies. Do you ever look at that in that way of like
Yeah,
you're seeing, it's so fascinating
it is.
and cool at the same time.
It's interesting because there's always a balance. It doesn't matter, person to person or whatever. At the core, we're all just, humans, but we all have this different balance of energy, and it's nice. It's cool. I agree to see that in other people's relationship, but every relationship I've been in, the balance has been completely different too.
Oh, how so?
I think I've been in some relationships where I've been with partners who are more comfortable with that heteronormative dynamic, and then I've been in relationships where I was maybe with a more masked partner who looked more masked but didn't feel that way inside. And that was really interesting to me
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, how are you being your most authentic self if that's not how you feel, but that's how you're presenting? And I'm like, I don't know. All of a sudden, I was just thinking about that. And now I'm curious about that.
No, that is, please actually keep that in because
Yeah.
that is the main thing I think that my docuseries is even wanting to touch on is like, because that was me.
Yeah.
Like I had this whole feminine side of me that wasn't actually being touched upon or even spoke or allowing to speak because I was like, oh, I'm this masculine role and this is what everybody thinks I am, so I'm gonna just play this part.
Hmm.
And it was me having to really like go through and being like, I'm also just abandoning myself
Hmm.
in that way.
Yeah.
When someone actually dates me, they're like, wow, you're more femme than I thought. And then they're like, this is too much. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a sensitive bitch. Like,
Okay, that's really funny you said that because also then on the other hand, I felt like personally for myself too that maybe I'm too feminine for some people because I'm so feminine.
ooh,
Sometimes
what
it
is that? What?
feels like it very heteronormative naturally to some people. And there were times where like I was attracted to people, but like they weren't used to or maybe liked being with a high femme, which is so interesting to me because I'm like, that's like so gay. Like that's the gayest.
Yeah.
That's the gayest you could get, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm wondering then, like, in which ways are you showing then your masculine or not showing your masculine?
Oh wait, I
Because
wanted
you
to
said you were dom femme, which makes sense. Yeah,
um here was
continue.
a moment. I this is actually so funny. So like I was in very heteronormative relationships where like I practically didn't lift a finger. Now I'm with my current girlfriend and we went to the airport once and I was like, "Oh, can you like help me with my bag?" And she kind of like gave me a bit of a problem and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Do you even want me to go on this trip with you? Like maybe I just shouldn't even go." But that's not our
Zero
dynamic.
to 100.
Like that's just not us.
Right.
So I don't know. I was like, what? But moving forward, I need that. Grab my fucking bag.
Yeah.
That's
It's
all I
amazing.
ask.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you ever grab her bags? Are they a her?
I clean up
They're, I'm
after
imagining.
her 24/7, so grab my bag.
That's the least you can do.
Right? I'm like, what the hell? You get to do everything with me. Grab my bag.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, circling back because we keep going on a tangent to your coming out journey. You
Yes.
realized through your journey that there was a part of you that was more feminine that wasn't being seen. And that's really what being queer is, right? Just being our most authentic selves.
Yes, and even discovering, I think, more versions of who we are because, like, we come out of the womb and we're told to live this specific way, and then we're like, wait, no, we're not like this. So then we have this coming out, and then it's a whole new rebirth of discovering again how we want to operate in our most masculine and feminine self, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it can totally create and show its way so differently, whether it be sexually or even physically in our gender roles or sexual roles. So, oh my God, I'm like going on a whole different tangent, but my coming out was just like really trying to figure out how I really wanted to really let both of versions of me live, because I always, when I was little, I was always a tomboy,
Mm-hmm.
very much in my masculine. I cut my hair really short. I literally thought I was a boy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would, and then it wasn't until puberty that I was like, oh, I'm a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I am a girl. Okay, then let's play this role. I'm this girl. And then college, I was like, no, wait, what am I? Like, I'm maybe both. And so I've always been this type of gender fluid child.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's my whole experience, even coming out, of just finding my middle or finding my equilibrium.
Yeah, or just
of understanding both of my masculine and feminine.
And just where you're at in life. And that can change, what we're talking about, journeys.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a point where maybe I was a little bit more masculine or acting that way, and then that didn't feel authentic to me. And now, it is up. There are ups and downs, and I think, like we were saying too, depending on who you're in a relationship with. And again, that is what being queer is, just being authentic to yourself at the point you're at in life. And it's okay for things to change.
Yeah.
I don't like the box that labels create sometimes.
I'm so against
because
the box.
I feel like we can.
I'm so against the box, yeah.
But that's what pisses me off, is because that's what being queer is. It's just being authentic to yourself and accepting those around you. And then we give ourselves a label, and then, oh, well, if you change, then there's this weird stigma, or like, oh, well, she's gonna just date men forever or whatever. And it's like, first of all, who cares? Number one, I don't care who people are sleeping with or they're in a relationship with. So please don't care what anyone else is doing. It's weird. And again, like, that's what being queer is. So can we stop? Can we stop with like the box we put people in? It's
Faithlynn,
so
we can
weird.
talk about this all day. I think this is just, and again, this is coming from my own journey, and so I can't even talk about other people's journeys or whatever else. But I think no matter what, we need that freedom to just fucking discover what it's like. And you heard about the thing of like, you come out of the closet only to get into a box, right? Or a cubby hole. Have you heard that saying?
I haven't, but that makes a lot of sense.
And just like, I guess I do know that we need the labeling system for just like our very beginning stages of life. But then the whole point is to break the ceiling of those continuously and to keep on discovering who the fuck we are on so many different levels. There's going to be like this third new gender, or there is a third new gender, but a third new way of being that we haven't even been able to tap in and explore yet, because we're so stuck on our own stereotypes in our queer community.
Absolutely. And I think things are different now, but when I first came out, it's still as accepted, I feel like, or at least maybe just where I grew up. But now I feel like it's so normalized and accepted, which is amazing. So we are allowing a little bit more space for people to just use like the blanket term of, oh, I'm queer. But like that wasn't really a thing, at least I'm aware of. Like 10 years ago, I'm like, I had to pick a label to make it easier for other people, even though I always said my only label is my name. I don't like this whole thing. I've never been in a relationship with a man, so if I have to put a label, it's lesbian. But like, why?
Yeah. Wait, so you came out 10 years ago and you said you're in your 20s. So you came out as like, that's amazing.
I came out at 14.
Incredible.
Had my first girlfriend when I was, in high school. She cheated on me. We were going to go to prom together, but then she cheated on me. So she ended up going with a guy, and I was like, okay,
was she
weirdo.
Bisexual then?
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you. A lot older than you. And I remember there was like there were no queer people at my high school, and we had 4,000 students. They were like the theater kids, but they were still
So that's
It's crazy. There
crazy.
there were there were probably gay people, but they were all closeted. And even one of my best friends in high school was
Yeah.
closeted. And so it's just interesting of like how the freedom that you're even just 10 years ago that you came out. Wow. Was your school accepting? Like,
Hmm.
how was that?
I went to a Catholic private school with
Stop.
nuns and Franciscan brothers.
Stop.
And then I transferred back to a public school because I was like, this is so stupid. Like, why am I going to confession and all of this stuff? Like, I don't even believe in any of, like, I don't resonate with
The-
this
oh
religion.
my God.
So this is really weird.
You're like at confession, you're like, it's been 2 days since my last confession, and I'm still
Like, I
thinking
kiss
of vagina.
girls. Yeah. I'm like, I don't really know. Like, this is like really not going to work.
Yeah.
Um, so
Amazing.
yeah, but I also will say I was always the type of person who just like never really cared what anyone thought except for my family.
Yeah.
And so I was scared to come out to them, of course, but they were always like loving and accepting from the beginning, which
Wow.
I'm very lucky because I grew up in like a conservative area, like so yeah, I was very lucky in that sense. Yeah, I just never cared what anyone thought. I was like, if somebody is not going to be my friend because of that, like I don't want to be their friend anyway. So I just didn't care.
That is incredible.
I
I
don't
was
know why.
definitely,
Like
you don't know why?
afraid.
Yeah, I
You were
was,
afraid. Yeah.
yeah, I was definitely afraid. I felt like I had a lot of, because I grew up very Christian. Which it seems like you went to a Catholic school.
Same.
So yeah, that's so interesting.
Well, my mom was a born again Christian, and then I went to that like Catholic school because whatever, my dad went there. But yeah, so my mom raised me born again Christian, so I'm sure you can relate when you come out, there's all this shame. And I was like,
Oh,
maybe I'm gonna go to hell if I'm gay.
oh, for sure. Yeah, I was convinced, and then I even thought to myself, well, if I go to hell, I'm at least being myself to that extent. But
And you're with gay people.
yeah, yeah, and I was with yeah. If I'm gonna be exiled, at least I'm exiled on an island full of gays. That's just Lesbos.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, exactly.
No,
Oh my gosh,
that's so
exactly.
funny. Yeah, my coming out was actually worse. It's my mom didn't talk to me for a whole year, until my siblings were like, "Mom, this is getting ridiculous." And even then,
Mm.
my coming out came in like baby stages of graduate steps of trying to really be like, hey, mom, I'm really gay. Like she made me this like dating thing, and I switched it to women, dating women, and like needed to be incognito for a little bit in order to, yeah, fully do that. And I think that set the tone of like how I even dated the way I dated was I needed to date people that were passing.
Mm.
That was right. That's interesting too, of just like I wanted to date people that didn't look gay
Mm.
for a while.
That's a thing I've heard when people first come out too. I remember how uncomfortable I was to like hold hands with a girl in public. Do you remember that? Like
Yeah.
when
Oh
you first
yeah.
come out and you're like, people are gonna see me gay. I have to be myself in public. What the fuck? Like
Yep.
I remember how nervous I was. I couldn't even breathe when I first like held a girl's hand that I liked. I was like, am I gonna be judged?
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, where did you grow up?
Long
Oh
Island
wow.
and then Manhattan.
Okay, so even in New York, you were still
Hmm.
feeling.
Where did you grow up?
I'm born and raised in Los Angeles.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, how
Or
nice.
born in Los Angeles, and then I was raised in Lancaster, which is outside of Los Angeles.
Okay, that's really
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, so that's where I grew up and went to high school and
At
stuff.
least.
Yeah.
And it obviously being gay was like not a thing there. Like you said, you were like there was 4,000 people and I was the only
Yeah, like
one.
well, even I wasn't even out then. I didn't even know I was gay because of my Christianity,
Oh, you didn't.
masking that and being like, "No,
Yeah.
I love people." Like, meanwhile, I'm literally having fantasies of making
Mm,
out with one of my classmates, and I'm like, "No, that's beautiful." I'm like, "No," and just dismissing
yeah.
it. Like I became a master at dismissing my
Hmm.
own self and listening to myself because of Christianity.
Yeah. It's so crazy because I feel like people who are so hooked on religion and all of that, I truly just don't I can't relate. I don't understand that. Specifically Christianity as well. And like no hate, obviously, whatever works for you and whatever makes you feel good and a better person, I don't care. But specifically Christianity, I've come across so many Christians who are so judgmental and homophobic. And I'm just like, I remember I was a little
same.
homophobic before I came out.
Same.
As a Christian as well. And I was like, whoa, like, this is weird. And now I think about that in every area of my life. I'm like, maybe if I don't like something, it's probably because I secretly like want that or something.
100%. Anything that you are triggered by is something that I think is what you are not okay with within yourself.
Absolutely. And also I love this. My friend always says this. She's like, almost every accusation's a confession.
Yes. Yes. I feel like that's when, and same with like projecting something. Good. Yeah, 100%. So it's really funny when like I meet somebody that is like super homophobic and they're like, what up? Like they would start, name calling like you dyke or whatever else. And I'm like, oh, babe. And I just like look at him with warmth and being like, you are gay too, aren't you? And you're not ready for that.
I'm like, I see this coming for you.
Like, oh.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I'm here when you need me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, this is a canon event. We've all been there.
Yes. No, for sure. The amount of times that... Yeah. So yeah, that's my coming out. It's interesting because now I'm reaching like a certain age and a certain, like looking back at like how much even our queer community has grown and has developed and morphed into this beautiful type of expression of self. I'm looking at it as if it's like some type of entity that's like continually trying to express itself. And then I look at our lesbian community and it's so beautiful to see so many versions of it now, of the lesbian community, of like that's why it was so special to be in a room with a bunch of femmes. I don't think I've ever done that with myself too, of like I hang out with our queer community a lot, but in a room full of like hyper dom femmes was such a privilege of getting to see the inside of their mind that I think everybody needs to experience, truly.
Yeah. Well, I think, of course, and sitting in a room with anybody who's not like you is so important, to see the opposite side and to like have these conversations. And I always say too, vulnerability creates connection, and like you have to forever be a student. Because we can learn from everyone. Can you speak about the docuseries, why you wanted to create this, and a little bit about the process? I love it. I love the way it was filmed too. Like the coloring was so cool. I was like, this is so dope. I was
know. But like no joke. As I was like looking at your Instagram, I was like, dang it. Like I wish that you would have been a part of it, because it seems like this is the topic obviously that you're so good at, but also the way that you eloquently express yourself with it. I was just like, oh my God.
Oh, thank you very much.
There will be more episodes in the future, not specifically with Femmes, like we'll circle back. But yeah, the whole reason why I created this is because, I mean, even just being around the queer community, the gay community, the trans community, Masc and Femme and stuff. And I'm just like, we have so different ways of culture, and like the subcultures and the sub-linguistics in our cultures are so different. And because we came out of the pandemic, I think, with more labeling, more type of like dissecting with pronouns, it was more boxes
too.
Like 1000%.
It was like both. It was like it was both. It was like weirdly this understanding and acceptance, but then also it became very rigid very quickly.
1000%. We became super sensitive, hypersensitive to using these type of labelings, that was our identity. And if anything else, like, no, you are not a part of it kind of thing. And it just blew my mind of being like, where the fuck are we going with this when we're supposed to be as fluid as possible in our lives with everything, not just with gender and sexuality, but with everything. We're supposed to be ever evolving, ever changing. So, but I've had that in the back of my mind throughout the years of just listening to our queer community. And then it wasn't until that I was like dating Masc I was trying to date Masc lesbians that I'm like, oh my God, there's no representation. Masc on Masc is looked at as taboo a little bit in our lesbian community, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like, we even now have this type of like taboos that we have within our
Yeah.
subculture. And so I was like, no, I want to see Masc on Masc making out. Like, it's hot to me. Anybody making out is hot to me. So I'm like, let's just do that. Like, people making out is hot. So I was just like, let's make an episode of getting all the Masc and even non-binary Masc representation in trans men to like talk about what it's like to be a Masc person. And to me, it was like an energy thing. Like, yes, I had these people talking about their experiences,
100%.
but it's like I'm looking at their energy and how they want to express and tell their story. So I was like, well, then of course we have to do the femme version, because let's go on the other side of the pendulum in our lesbian community, because it's so the duality of our lesbian community, and seeing the type of binary is more like seeing the more like femme and then the more Masc is so out there compared to gay culture. Gay culture is more like you see the twinks or the bears, but it's still kind of blended, right? Like, it's not super black cat and super like Masc in a sense. So I thought that was very fascinating in our lesbian community. And so I was like, well, let's go into the femmes and like talk about what their type of experience is. And then it kept on coming back to makeup. Like, makeup was the main thing that everyone was saying, that's a femme. Like, you would go out and they're like, that's a femme. I'm like, why? And they're like, because they have more makeup on. And I'm like, oh, well, what about if we take that away? What does that mean? Are they still not femme? Like, what is that like? So that's what was so fascinating. It's just like, I'm just such a curious person that I'm like, I want to like really do. So
Same. I'm like, I have to know everything. I'm so annoying.
Are you Sagittarius?
Like, I have to know everything. No, I'm an Aries.
Oh, I thought you were an Aries. You must have Sagittarius in your chart though too.
I do. My Mars is in Sagittarius. I don't know if you know.
Oh,
so it's
cool.
Like the way I get angry.
Basically, what I realized after the first series, I was like, I want to really go through our whole queer community and go through all our subcultures. So the next episode that I'm in pre-production right now is, at first it was going to be bisexuals, asexuals, pansexuals, demisexuals. I was going to do that. But now I really want to go into the gay culture because there's so much to unpack.
So much.
So much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just, oh, go ahead.
Keeping going with it. Like, this is amazing. When do you start production, or is this like pre-production at the moment?
Yeah, we're in pre-production right now. I'm speaking to actually my best friend who is gay, and he owns his own production company. He is going to be spearheading kind of like with that. We are finally, like, before all these episodes were being funded just by me. I was paying for them. So now we're going to be starting a GoFundMe for the next episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that would like be awesome, because like the second episode with them, I wanted more, like, I rented out an Airbnb. I wanted an amazing DP that I've been following, and I love her. So it's like now just wanting to elevate it with like gear and sound and like editing and stuff. And so
Absolutely.
So we're going to be starting a GoFundMe pretty soon.
That's awesome. Well, we'll definitely link it in this episode as well. Like, especially if it you have it created. If you want to, well, I don't know when you'll have the link created, but if you do,
I was about to say, I was like, oh shit, I got to do that.
yeah, I was going to say, but if you do, we can put it in the description for the episode.
Thank you. Yes, I would really thank you. That would mean a lot.
Yeah,
honestly.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
something random I wanted to bring up too is like, as we're having this conversation, I'm thinking so much about all these things. I'm like, it's funny how, we both were raised Christian and we're queer now. And I feel like being queer is closer to embodying Jesus's characteristics about being loving and true and accepting than actually being a Christian. I'm like, I feel more Christian as a queer person than I ever did, being actually Christian.
I love that you brought that up, because in spiritual spaces, when I'm talking about growing up and I grew up Christian. I even studied different religions. I was a religion major in college, and now I'm like a very heavily in the spiritual community. That like coming out queer brought me closer to
God.
I'm not religious, but my spirituality to God.
Yeah.
To God.
Or just the
And understanding
energy.
that
And that's what I mean when I say God, like this divine energy.
same. No, for sure. The divine energy. Well said. Beautifully said. Because that's what God is like my God that I believe in is like is divine feminine and divine masculine. So when someone's coming out and like expressing their queerness, they are tapping into a different type of divinity within themselves. I really believe this. So that's what's so cool is that like anybody gay, they already are holding a different type of like understanding and kind of like frequency when you're like, oh, you're understanding.
Yeah. It's a different
What-
lens.
Yeah.
And again, too, like that's when you're being your most authentic self and living truly and being queer, you're connected to your higher self in a closer way. You're closer to that, or that's where you are, you know?
So now you're a walking Jesus.
I am.
Faithlynn.
I know. Trust me.
Yeah.
Don't.
I would follow you.
Right? Like, I think I should start a cult. Or I was
You
thinking,
should.
because I'm like so delulu. I was like, maybe I should just like start a church for my friends so we can all get these write-offs and like we just like journal together and like who's to say that that can't be a religion, right? Faith church.
Wait, I love Faith Church. I think you're onto something,
Right.
and I would totally
It's a
join
queer
that. So
church.
like so fast.
So it's like a safe
It's a queer
space for
church. Yeah,
queer
everyone's
people.
accepted.
Yeah, to just be themselves.
Yes. I have a question for you though.
Okay.
Since I would say you are like the femme queen, you know, you have your podcast, you meet a lot of other femmes. Would you notice the correlation of hyper femme or dom femmes and like witchcraft and being witchy or expressing themselves in that way? Is
I've
there a
definitely
correlation?
seen a connection for sure. I think, but that goes back to so many years ago of women just like, I feel like that was what they called witches, women who were just true to themselves and went against the norm and, you know, against the patriarchy, whatever. Yeah, totally.
How about you? What's your relation to witchcraft or anything?
I would say, yeah, I feel like I'm very connected to nature. And I've always said, like, especially the moons and things like that. And being a woman, I talked about this in the last episode as well. Like, I live very cyclically. I live based off my cycle, depending on my shift of hormones. I have it in my Google Calendar every, like, luteal phase, menstrual phase, where I'm at. And I do specific workouts or I eat specific foods. And that to me, like I feel so connected to my feminine energy when I live that way and I'm in tune with my body. And then of course with the moons, you know, I mean, the moons control so much. So it's hard for me to even have conversations with people who are like so against that or think that that's woo woo. I'm like, no, this is like OG. You just don't get it.
No, absolutely. Oh, that makes me really happy to hear because that's also what we kind of breached that in the episode about how even putting on makeup is like, you know, what'd she say? Janine, one of our participants, she talks about this because she's a astrological reader.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and she was saying glam magic, that it's glam magic, and
yes,
that's
I
what
saw
it was
that.
so beautiful of going back to Egypt and how Egypt, like if
The
you
coal.
tap into any like mystery school, yes, and like how they would put on their makeup and that was their glam magic of putting on like this specific type of intentional armor. And that comes, and only women would do that. And it was such a matriarch, right? Like ancient Egypt was such a matriarch, like, and understanding that kind of magic. And it was just so beautiful of like, even going back to the moon literally is like women magic and it's connected to women, well, all of us, but mostly the feminine energy. And that's what was so special being in that room. You can feel the power of the feminine energy and how connected they are to nature and their bodies, whereas the masculine not so much.
Yeah.
It's it's so here when you're surrounded by a bunch of masks, like, or men, or it's very, very here. Whereas
Yeah.
women, it's very like here and sacral.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to be around of like, ooh, I don't know. I love
No,
it.
I agree. I think because when you
Yeah.
are connected to your feminine energy and your body in that sense, if that's what you choose to do, um, we all like that's why your cycles sync up when you're around
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
so much. It's so beautiful. It's like we were designed for that and for community and for women to stick together. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I mean, science is catching up and research and all that is catching up to us now, but I mean, this is stuff we always knew, or I think that is kind of like innate in a sense. Like you kind of just have this inner knowing or like this feeling of like, oh, this feels right. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
See, this is all part of your church.
Yeah, right. Faith church.
I'm already in
Yeah,
sermon right now with Faithlynn, and this is
I can't. People are
I
gonna
love
think
it.
I'm
Oh my
nuts
God, this is the best
for
church
saying
ever.
that, but this is hilarious.
Oh, absolutely not. No, please, please keep that. And
I will.
like people be like, yes, we need
Yeah,
that.
I'm like
Embracing
kind
your
of
femme, because
petition
that's
if you
like
guys are in for this like queer church. We could have different days too, where like the masks meet on this day if they want that community. Because I'm like, well, there's women's circles and men's circles in churches. Why can't we have circles? You know?
Faithlynn, if we joke about this now, but literally in like 5 or 10 years, if you like come to me and you're like, hey, guess what?
The
What I'm doing,
church.
I'm starting this church. I'm like, yes, this is actual thing that the church is starting.
No,
The Church of Faith
Faith,
is
no,
starting.
literally. This is so funny. I think I was like stoned the other day and I came up with this idea and I told my girlfriend and she probably tunes me out half the time. And that's why I have this podcast because I don't shut up. So I have to get it out somehow. Yeah.
Amazing.
But she's like, okay. And I'm like, how cool would that be? But I'm like, it does seem like narcissistic and that's not my intention. Because it wouldn't be about me. It would just be a safe
like-
space for people. But I don't want it to come across
Exactly.
that way.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's going to be called Church of Faith, and then under that be like, I am not a narcissist,
yeah, right.
just like subtext.
No, I couldn't be because I'm in so much therapy. Narcissists don't believe in therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh my God, I love that. Then you'll have a little in the back of the church, just a therapy session. Honestly, I think this is a great
We should
idea.
offer
I'm all
like
for it.
EMDR therapy pro bono for people who are coming up.
Have you done that?
I do EMDR, or I don't like do it. I receive it. Yeah. Yes.
That is like quite an experience.
Absolutely. Have you done it?
I've done it once, and it was
Very intense.
Oh, it was so groundbreaking. Yeah, very intense, very groundbreaking. Like I've been wanting to go again, but it was just quite an experience that I think everybody should really recommend. Like I recommend doing that.
I agree. I think like, not everything works for everyone, but I always say I'm like, just try it once. I've found it to be so helpful and desensitize me to some of the most traumatic moments in my life. And I'm like, that's why we go to therapy, for that freedom. Like to not have our past and things hold us down or hold us back from, so many incredible opportunities or people that we should meet or relationships. So yeah, it's pretty amazing, super intense. I took a break during the holidays, but I do it like every week. And lately I've just been like dreading it. I'm like, do I really want to open this wound?
I know. What's your aftercare then? Because it is so visceral and yeah. What is your aftercare?
So it's actually funny. I am going to be switching it based off my cycle because I found out at certain points in my cycle I wasn't able to get to that place mentally to, see those things or be there. But when I was at the point in my cycle where I was menstruating and letting go and my body's bleeding, I'm able to get to those really, those places and let go. It's crazy, but
Faithlynn, you're pretty fucking amazing. That's awesome that you even noticed that. I wonder, I now have to think back where I was with my cycle.
yeah, and I'm
Oh, that makes
curious too how
sense.
it felt for you. Like at the point that you were at, and did you feel like you could get to that place and like really let go, or was it harder, you know?
Well, yeah, it was definitely, so I did it last year, no, now 2024 during October, so it was during like the whole like political
Right.
stuff, and I was feeling very soft and
Yeah.
vulnerable. And I decided to do it then because one of my good friends was doing it at the time. And honestly, it destroyed me.
Yeah. No,
Like it literally, like
when I
it,
first started, the first 2 months, I would say, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, am I growing? Is this helping me? Because I feel like it's like killing me. Honestly.
it was burning
Yeah.
me. It was burning me to my own rebirth,
Yeah.
and that's what it really needed. And it was creating space to what I needed growth to be for sure. But I like it went to deep childhood stuff that I didn't
Even recall.
it just all also made sense. Yeah, I didn't recall, but it also all made sense of like this makes sense of even who I am, even being gay of like who I am as a queer person. What it goes back to literally me being 4 or 5 years old. I was just, oh my God, didn't recall this memory. And then this version of who I felt in my family. I come from a big family.
How many
And
siblings do you have?
so I'm one
Oh,
of five.
there you go.
Yeah, one of five.
Wow.
And I'm the middle child. I'm the middle child. I'm the only queer child. And still again, I'm in this type of like I always am looking at my gender in this type of like flow of feminine and masculine, and so it was really hard for my parents to see what like who I was. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. So that session really opened up a lot of things
I
for
think
me.
that, yeah, I mean, there's always somebody in the family who goes against the norm. And that had to be you, and that had to be me and my family, you know? And again, going back to like,
Yeah.
that's so witchy at the same time, you know, to like be like, I'm going to break this generational trauma, or I'm going to question everything that I was taught and see, is this really true for me? And a question I have to ask myself often, like as I'm doing therapy and all this stuff and thinking about everything, I'm like, is this a thought or a belief for me, or is this a belief and thought from the way that I was raised, or the people who, is this conditioning or is this authentic?
You're amazing for even having that self-reflection, because I feel like a lot of people don't even understand to do that of like, hey, is this mine or is
Yeah.
this something else?
Yeah. I
Constantly,
mean,
yeah,
in a
that's
sense, I think
beautiful.
it's like spiritual hygiene, and it's important, I think, to be
It is.
aware, but it's really hard. I mean, our world is so crazy right now, so to like work on things cognitively, it's not easy. And I'm nuts half the time, but I do try my best.
I mean, obviously, you've done a lot, and wow, it's just amazing. Wait, how many siblings do you have?
I'm an only child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How was like that growing up?
Yeah. I liked it. I didn't have to
Yeah.
like fight with a sibling. I got, a healthy amount of attention and love. I hope to have one child one day, uno, no more than one. But at the same time, also, whenever you hang out with a big family, it's like the best feeling.
It is very loud, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Very loud.
sure. I get overstimulated easily, so I
Everyone
could
talks.
only have one kid for sure. But
Yeah.
how did you like growing up with a lot of siblings?
I think there was a version of me that really wish I had more attention. Because going back to that and like even being queer is
Yeah.
I got really emotionally neglected.
Mm-hmm.
And not to my parents. Like I'm such a family person. I love my family and my parents, but they had literally 5 kids.
Yeah.
So one of us was going to be emotionally neglected, and I think because there is such that version of the middle child. So you have like the older that pioneers everything, and then yeah, and it kind of just like also the baby who they kind of take care of.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking back at all of my therapy, I definitely was emotionally neglected, but I was also a very deep kid at a very young age. So for them to even hold the type of capacity of emotional depth that I was able to at a young age was probably going to not meet me, of them being my parent and needing to do all the things as a parent really needs to do. So that definitely came into how I even entered into relationships as well.
Yeah. Did you
And
feel like
now why I'm
or
seeking.
it was like easier for you to neglect yourself or maybe allow a partner to kind of not really see you or maybe embrace you, or maybe it was even uncomfortable at times because it wasn't what you were used to?
So I actually did the opposite.
Okay.
I overcompensated, and that's why I really believe that I wanted to be with women, because I dated men through college. It's funny because I've never was with them intimately because I got so bored so fast with them mentally and emotionally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's why, yeah, like I was just like, I am not gonna have sex with you or do anything with you because this is boring. But and that's
It's like what's
right.
past
And so
it for some. I have like amazing, incredible men in my life, but like there are some men where I'm like, where's like, yeah, I can't even find
yeah,
it.
like yeah, like is it there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna try. And yeah, so that's why I noticed really like that's when I found my first girlfriend and was like, oh, I am emotionally connecting to this person, and that to me is a pillar of how I get intimate. So right, of just like I fell in love with women because they can hold the capacity of the emotional depth and mental. They kept me stimulated mentally. I love conversation, so it's like I love feminine women who they do talk. That's a feminine trait, is like talking. So that's why it's like I love talking to women. I like talking things out. So that was part of my queerness, of me being emotionally neglected, and part of it of being emotionally neglected, to being like overcompensating and only seeking that out in relationships.
It's interesting. And
Fascinating, right?
specifically for middle children, yes, but emotional neglect can happen. I mean, I was an only child, and that definitely happened at times. I was like raised by my
Yeah.
grandmother, and my dad, you know, he was present and amazing, but he worked all the time. That was his, you know, his thing. He's just always working still. So I, you know, didn't really have that either. I think that's why I'm also potentially so in tune and want to know and understand people's feelings. Like my friends, my friends joke all the time because I'm always like, "Oh, how are you feeling?" or "How are you feeling about this?" And so sometimes my friends would be like, "How are you feeling? How are you feeling?" I'm like, I can't help it.
And you're like, thank you for
Yeah, I'm like,
asking.
finally,
Yeah, no,
fuck.
I do the same. Yeah. They're finally catching
Yeah.
on. This is part of your church.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, seriously,
One of
yeah.
the commandments. It's not going to be commandments. It's going to
Check
be
in first with
questions to
yourself.
ask yourself.
Yeah, to reflect on.
Yeah. So
That's really
tell us a
funny.
little bit about your film experience. Was this one of your first projects? Have there been other things?
Yeah, growing up in LA, I've always been on sets and filming, and I've had my photography background, so I've been a photographer and videographer for 16 years
Oh,
now,
wow.
shooting weddings and yeah, shooting weddings and shooting like celebrities and editorials and families, and yeah, I actually photographed. I was shot some of the like queer weddings before they were legal during that
Wow.
time. So it's in 2009. Yeah, so that was really special. And then I was starting to get into film and always been like on set as a set photographer or a BTS person. And because I had like the wedding photography background, always directing a whole production, I felt very confident that I'm able to actually direct really anything and being on sets. So I dove into the documentary spaces because of my best friend, and we were starting to travel around the world and doing documentaries, and being a part of that. And that's when I was just like, I've always been this storyteller, and now I want to do it on a bigger scale of doing documentaries.
Yeah, that's
So
so cool.
yeah, it was really special. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I love
Thank you.
docuseries.
Thank you. Yeah.
I was watching one last week about like the different blue zones in the world. So interesting.
Yeah. With what's his name? What's his name?
Yeah, don't
I
know,
know what
but
you're
we
talking
know the
about
same
though.
guy. We know of him.
I know, I love it. Yes. So because I love that kind of storytelling. I've always been into like music
Mhm.
videos. I love music, so would create music, but being queer was always part of that type of underlining story of everything that I've done.
Mhm.
So I was just like, why not just fully dive into it? Because there's so many stories that we have that really haven't even been heard yet. And I love now that it's starting to be on the bigger screen. Like Heated Rivalry is groundbreaking for a lot of things, and
So
even just like
many.
some of our other like lesbian movies. Yeah, yeah, so many. And so it's really special to start seeing those type of stories being told. And so it's nice to, I love that they are narratives, but I want to be telling real people's stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll be continuing doing that,
Yeah.
I feel like, for a while.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, hopefully it gets picked up, by especially as like time goes on and as we progress, that would be amazing and, would help so many people and not even just people who are queer or wanting to come out, but even like parents and educating family
Yeah.
members that like, because I feel like, well, my mom I don't have a great relationship with her, but she wasn't accepting because she was very Christian and she was like, I love you, but we don't accept you. And I'm like, well, love is like acceptance. So that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But then I was engaged previously. And it wasn't until she saw our relationship where I think she realized, like, oh, wait, they have a normal relationship, just like straight people. Like, it's like, oh, I think they thought that it would like be different or something, or maybe hypersexual or whatever. And I'm like, fucking weirdos. Like,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
it's normal. We
No,
fight about the
truly.
same shit as straight couples, probably. So,
Right? And then it probably was so eye-opening to your mom of starting to be curious in your lifestyle, right? I would hope after that.
yeah, at the time, yeah, for sure. Circling back to the religion, I'm like, a lot of people who
Mm.
are so connected to religion like that, it's rooted in shame. That's for
That's part
therapy.
of the church. That's good. That's another topic. Yeah, that's for Church of Faith.
I know.
Um,
This
invi
episode's so
inviting the
all over the
moms.
place. It's so funny. Oh, you know what would be really cool if like you did screenings of your docu-series at bars and like talked about that. It's like people do screenings of different
So,
things, like, right?
yeah, funny you have mentioned that I actually have a screening. I actually do.
Amazing.
So funny you, Faith, Faithlynn, I love that you
Yeah.
brought that up because on the 31st down in Hermosa, two of my really good friends, they own this amazing studio space specifically to hold and be a very safe space for anybody queer. Um, they are premiering Femme versus Femme on the 31st of January at 7 o'clock. And I already am in talks with another queer space in Los Angeles to have a double screening of Masc versus Masc and Femme versus
That's
Femme.
amazing.
And that will be announced probably in
That's
February.
so awesome.
So it's funny you had
Yeah.
mentioned
Please
that.
email us like everything. I would love to help promote that. It's so important.
I hope you come.
I'll be away. I'll be in St. Bart's next week.
Okay.
But maybe the one in February.
Incredible. Yeah, the one in February, I'll let you know. It'll be a double screening, and it's going to be at I can't
Yeah, no,
say
that's totally
where at
fine.
because we haven't even talked
Yeah.
logistics, but it's going to be a queer bar, and they had a beautiful like screening of Heated Rivalry there, and so there's going to be Q&As
So
afterwards.
cool.
So it'll be really fun.
Yeah.
And maybe at your church you can have a screening.
No, literally. I'm sure it'll end up being a reality show church.
That would be,
So funny.
can I film
Sure.
it?
The making of the
Oh
church.
my God. The making of the you this would I'm not kidding now. I'm like thinking this would be great.
Oh my.
Just like you just talking about like so Becky just could brought over the wrong
Yeah.
Jesus and like or something, I
It's
don't
like
know. You're
really
just like talking.
interesting. She didn't bring over the female deity.
Yeah.
You were married. Were you married to somebody who, how did they present?
They did present more like femme presenting. They were very femme presenting, but they worked in an industry that was male
Okay.
dominated. So I loved that type of like version of self that she was a very like independent, sovereign woman that I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. And but again, yeah, she looked very feminine, was very feminine.
Yeah. I feel like every lesbian has to go through like a divorce or like ending of a relationship where they like thought they were going to get married. Like every lesbian I know is either like has been divorced or married and like a failed engagement or something. It's like a rite of passage.
I that's it is a rites of passage, and it's like that's our way of how we
Yeah.
grow. Of you
Yeah.
know, like it's like I love talking to lesbians who it's so crazy to see the spectrum of fresh new baby gays, and then you have like someone that's been there into their like first or second relationship. You're like, ooh, okay, now I see some of those scars and wounds that like helped you
Oh my
grow.
God, yeah.
And then you get the divorcees, and then like you're like, oh yeah, they are very like wise. Those are our wise
Yes.
elders kind of thing,
Yes.
right? And then it's like go. It almost comes back to it. It's just like
No,
so
it
funny.
is so funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, canon event, canon moment.
My divorce ended pretty
Oh,
amicably.
amazing.
I mean, she cheated. So this is actually an interesting topic. So she cheated on me with a guy, which is as a mass lesbian, every mass lesbian worst fear is for our partner to leave us for a man, right? I feel like it is. At least a lot of the mass that I talk to, it's a big fear
Yeah.
because it's like we can't offer them that, and that's who we always wanted to like. I've always
Embody.
wanted to be some version of a
Yeah.
man. Yeah, and embody that. Yeah. So, and not to the point of being a trans man, but I definitely was like, I want to be that masculine. And
Yeah.
I was that masculine in our relationship. And the moment that I started actually being curious to see how my feminine energy would be like in relationships, that's when she was like starting to cheat. Um, and it was beautiful because I think her cheating on me with this guy really helped me understand to heal my version of like my masculinity
Yeah. Yeah.
of just softening into my feminine, which then actually catapulted me onto this whole journey of finding my own way of what my femininity looked like,
Yeah.
which then catapulted into how I started dating masked lesbians. So it was really beautiful to like experience that, but also obviously heartbreaking as
Yeah.
well. So, but I still like am thankful for all that of because I found that triggered me coming back into my wholeness of self and that masculine feminine like energy and wanting to embrace both instead of just living in one spectrum of
Right.
self, which was the masculine energy.
Yeah.
So,
No,
that's what my divorce led and like helped me grow and
yeah.
understand to, you know.
Breakups can teach you so much and endings of relationship. And I said too, when things ended with my ex, I was like, always felt like that really made me become a woman and realize so much about myself. And I feel like I just, you know, it was great. It was incredible. What was it like going through a divorce?
So we got divorced during the
Oh,
pandemic.
wow.
And yeah, and we were together, I think we were together almost 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. And it was like the very beginning, right when the world shut down, that I found out she cheated on me. So all through the pandemic, we were going through the most torturous, like, just versions of
Yeah.
ourselves and
Yeah.
like tried couples therapy. That didn't work. And
I mean, yeah, at
just
that
it was, and
point
because we couldn't
to
leave.
do therapy when it's already,
Yeah.
that's tough.
We were actually doing couples therapy prior to me finding out that she
Okay.
cheated, but then I found out that she's actually been cheated longer than when I initially
Shit.
found out too. Like a year ago before that. So she cheated longer than, but thank God, like the pandemic was such an interesting thing of like it was the worst and best of every couple, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
And that showed me that she was cheating and all the lies and everything else and just all the lies that I even was dismissing within myself. So everything came to the surface and it got so ugly internally and externally because of like everything that was coming up. But towards the end, so that happened like again in March, the beginning when the world shut
Wow.
down. And then come like October when the world started up opening up a little bit. You remember like in September they started saying we can kind of gradually come out. I
It's
don't know
such
if
a
in New York,
blur. I
but
was
in
actually in
LA.
LA because I lived there with my lived here for like a
Oh,
year and or 2 years, a short stint, and I was like, I'll never go back to LA. I don't like it. But here I am.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Right.
Um, but yeah, in September it was starting to open up a little bit, and then because that's when I was able to travel to London, and we had this break. And when I came back, it was October, which was also our wedding anniversary. That on our wedding anniversary, I was just like, I want a divorce, and we weren't gonna get a divorce because she was kind of not gonna say that she wanted one, and I was like, no, I want a divorce. And after I said that, then we were like, do you want to have our last like hoorah? This is such a lesbian thing, by
It
the
is.
way. We're like had the most torturous experience, and then we're like, so do you want to like go to the botanical gardens for our anniversary and have like this last like closure
Yeah.
moment of
So
like
Les.
like literally just like reminiscing of our times together and then like just being like, oh, okay, like that was fun. Thank you so much for this journey together. And it was so lesbian. Like it was so
It is so lesbian. I love it
yeah.
though.
And then
I love I
it,
love
yeah, like it was good closure.
yeah. Um
And then our divorce was easy. Like the papers were easy and everything.
So nice. Okay, so normally I ask the femmes, I'm like, can you share three of like your favorite things right now? Obviously, you're a little bit more masked, but what are like your three favorite things
Oh,
right now? Is there any show you're loving or a book you're reading?
oh, this is really great. My favorite things. I mean, honestly, I just finished watching Heat of Rivalry, and that was amazing. But I don't want that to be like
It could
a
be one
thing.
of them.
Um, Maybe one of them because that was pretty. It's just been pretty
Yeah.
amazing, and yeah, and what else? What else? I mean, that's just a good question of just like what I'm watching or what I in
Could be
life, what I'm
anything. It
doing.
could be a hair product that like you're loving or, a book like I said or anything.
Oh my God, this
Yeah.
is great.
That you're like, okay, you
I
should
haven't
get
read a
this,
book
like
in a bit.
influence someone, on something.
Oh yes, yes. Okay. Um, wow, I seem really boring because I've really just been doing like matcha and working
Amazing.
out. No, I know. Wait.
That's so LA.
Um, it really is. My one of my favorite things to do is just literally go on YouTube and listen to
Ma-
tarot. So that's a thing. Just listen to your
Yeah.
tarot.
It's
It's great.
hilarious. Yeah, for sure. I know when everything's like going crazy, I'm like, what's going on with the planets?
Yes, no, really. Because I can't be on Instagram because
Too
it's just
dark
like
right
so
now.
political. And so I'm just like, I'd rather, it's so dark. And so I'm just gonna, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like trying to get outside
That's a
as
good
much as
question.
possible.
It's really funny. I don't know. Yeah, and walks, just going on a daily walk and just like talking to friends has been really, really special. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm pretty
yeah.
simple.
I mean,
It's really funny. I can't think of
there's
anything.
so much we don't need in life. So I think that's a good thing and an admirable quality. But thank you so much for coming on. I am
Thank you for having me.
absolutely. I'm so excited to see what's to come, and I'm so glad you're doing this like for yourself, obviously, but also for the community. It's super important. Yeah, and thank you for representing Femmes. It's huge.
Thank you. And thank you for doing what you're doing. Like your podcast is
Oh,
awesome.
thank you so
And
much.
yeah, more femmes need a voice, and we can't forget our femmes because femme invisibility is definitely a thing as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, thank you for having me and for being the first Masc. Like what
I
an
know,
honor.
so cool. I didn't really like think, and I was like, oh wait, this is so cool. This is like so out of the box for me.
Thank
So I was like,
you.
let's just try it.
I love it. Thank you. Did I fit in with the femmes? Like did I
Amazing.
do
Amazing.
Do you
Amazing.
think the femmes will accept me?
Absolutely. I think like you're such an easy person to have a conversation with, especially like as a femme, you know, it's like, oh, you get it, or you've been around a lot of different people. So it's cool to you know, have your perspective and stuff. But thank you guys so much for
Thank you.
listening. Please like, share, rate this podcast, and we will see you guys next week. If you want to connect with Kelly, I will leave all of the links in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.